Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and today we are talking about Autobots, except evil. That's right, we are going to the Shattered Glass universe. For those... Thank you. For those who don't know, the Shattered Glass universe is the Transformers answer to the Mirror Universe in Star Trek. So all the Autobots get red eyes and goatees. That's essentially what happens. And we've got a couple figures from Hasbro Selects. We've got Shattered Glass, Optimus Prime, and Ratchet. And so we're going to pull these out and show you just what these guys are all about. So let's get started here. I'm gonna just open this up. These have been out of the package before, but I like showing you what the package is like because it's pretty cool. So let's move this out of the way. And right away, you get the Hasbro Selects packaging, which is essentially a brown cardboard box that's been uniquely printed on the inside. And personally, I really like this packaging. It's efficient, yet very stylish. I think that there's something very appealing about these shippers that use very minimal production to create a unique aesthetic with the Autobot sign that looks like it's been stenciled, and then the Cybertron here, and the current line logo, and then very little else. You know, there's not really a lot of other embellishments put on this packaging. Of course, you have to have the legal mumbo jumbo, because that's important. And then there's just a logo on the back, and really nothing on the bottom. So that is the package, and then we open them up, and the characters. This is a 2-pack featuring evil Optimus Prime, not to be confused with Nemesis Prime, because Nemesis Prime is black and this one is purple. That's really the difference as far as I can tell. We've also got Shattered Glass Ratchet, who is still white, but instead of white and red, he's white and teal with some purple embellishments. And to be honest, I'm really liking the looks of both of these guys. This was a set that I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go there because I'm not really heavily invested in the Shattered Glass universe. You know, it's like, okay, that's yet another sub-universe of the existing universe, and honestly, Transformers already have like a million different universes. There's the Gen 1 continuity, and then within the Gen 1 there's Beast Wars and regular Gen 1, and then there's the Generations line, which harkens back to Gen 1, and there's also the Aligned continuity, which contains Transformer Prime and I believe the Bumblebee Adventures and Cyberverse, or so. I can't keep it straight. There's a lot. And so the idea of going to the Shattered Glass sub-universe from within the Generations sub-universe of the Gen 1 universe, no, you know what? I'm out. I don't want to think that hard. But that doesn't mean that we don't get some really cool looking toys out of these designs. So let's take a look, and I'm going to start here. I'm actually going to start with Optimus Prime. And I know it seems like I should finish with Optimus Prime, but you know, I think that once you get to the end of this review, you'll see why it is that I chose to go with Prime first. Because we've got Optimus Prime here. You'll note that he is just a straight up repaint of the Transformers Earthrise Optimus Prime. So darker colors, purple instead of red, dark blue rather than Superman blue. And of course he does have his blaster, so let's get his blaster. We'll knock him over. That's all right. He's evil, so you know, he needs to be knocked over every now and then just to keep him in line. There we go. And we'll give him his ion rifle, which is important. So, just comparing these guys side by side, and let's just move the box out of the way for a moment. You'll notice that the grays are darker. He's got yellow windows and you know, almost greenish yellow. You know, he's getting close to a Constructicon green there. And the other thing that he's missing is his trailer. The Shattered Glass Prime does not come with a trailer, and while, you know, I'm of two minds about it. On one hand, I love the fact that the Earthrise Prime came with a trailer. You know, we've been wanting to see the original Gen 1 battle platform trailer revisited for years. Fans have been clamoring for this. On the other hand, people who have watched some of my live streams know that I'm not all that impressed by this trailer. There's not a lot here, and you essentially add this, which seems like a $5 add-on, which I guess with modern pricing is a $10 add-on, taking this essentially, he looks like a deluxe class size toy that should be like $30, and you mash them together and suddenly you're close to a $60 price point. It just seems incongruous, especially when, for one thing, the color palette on this is really bland. I mean, we've got gray with some more gray and some other shades of gray, and oh, on the underside, gray, and look, blue stripes. It's very nice. So, no roller figure, and so far we haven't gotten a repaint of Fast Track done as a transforming roller figure, which, you know, hello, Hasbro. Hello, Hasbro? You made Fast Track, okay, and he's a 6-wheeled vehicle. Now, granted, it doesn't really look like roller, but you know what? As a fan, let me let you know, we're not all that picky. Go ahead and, you know, repaint it. We'll give you our money. It's great. So, yeah, I'm not in love with this trailer. I appreciate that they did it, but, so we get back to not Nemesis Prime, Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. Thank you. and he doesn't have a trailer. And to be honest, I'm okay with it. I would much rather get Ratchet in the 2-pack than get an underwhelming trailer. And, you know, since I already got Dead Prime, so we have Dead Prime here, and he comes with a trailer, which, honestly, when Optimus Prime died, you never saw the trailer again. You know, he's laying on a slab, he's got heart monitors and stuff, or what, I guess, Cybertronian cog monitors, spark monitors, stuff like that. They're, you know, checking them out. But none of that stuff was part of the trailer, so this version could have missed out on the trailer, and then you could just give the trailer to him. Now, granted, I feel like these stripes would be purple in that case rather than just gray. Yeah, I will say that at least in this case, the fact that the trailer is gray on gray. You know what? It's not gray on gray, though. Look at this. It's got actual black, and that looks better. This is a better looking trailer than regular Optimus Prime, because we've got some color variation here. Look at that. Look, we've got silver. Granted, it's on the rifle, but but at least there's contrast here. This is better. I really feel like I need to kind of swap out some of the parts here with El Blando McBlando in the background there, because it's nicer. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Also, for people who are familiar with seeing my live streams, you know I am not afraid to do a little bit of customization here and there as necessary to take perfectly good toys and fix them. So, we have Optimus Prime here. Let's go ahead and transform him because, you know, we know about this figure. And I will say that the robot mode looks great. I actually really like the dark gray. I think that he looks dynamic. I like the dark blue. His head just flew off. Wow, you know, I've always heard that Shattered Glass Optimus Prime loses his head, but I didn't realize it was so literal. I apologize. That was terrible. I shouldn't have done that. Nonetheless, we do have a great-looking robot mode and great-looking colors. I especially like the shattered windshield. That's really, really nice. And I wish that they had done that on Dead Prime. You know, even when he came out before I knew that this existed, I thought, you know, they should have broken windows because that was a big part of him looking dead. And there we go. We've got, yeah. So, there's stuff that needs to happen, maybe with both of these guys, but nonetheless, this Prime looks great. He's got all the articulation that you've come to expect, even down to having an opening and closing hand, which is very nicely done because you can see that they've still molded it to accept a 5mm peg, and the thumb holds it in without necessarily relying on the tension of the hinge to keep the gun secure. So that's very nicely done. You know, it's a funny thing because as much as I criticize this version of Prime, this mold for the trailer and some of the other choices, I have to say that this is an excellent, excellent version of Optimus Prime. You know, it is kind of a no back to basics, no need for extra gimmicks kind of really, really good, solid robot mode with a good, solid vehicle mode. So let's go ahead and transform him. And, yes, you know what? I'm being reminded there is a feature that I need to show off first. So here, let's go ahead. We do have an evil matrix. And this matrix is really hard to get out of here. Maybe if I had the fingers of a 7-year-old, that might help. But honestly, Hasbro knows that this toy isn't really for the 7-year-olds unless I had a kid. Which, yeah, I don't want to have a kid because if I had a kid, then he'd break all my toys. So, yeah, look at that. Let's get that in focus. Look at that. That is a cool looking matrix. And I especially like that it's cast out of that translucent, sickly yellow, almost green. It gives it a corrupt look. It reminds me very much of the green that they used in the Marvel comic when the Matrix was corrupted and evil. I think it was upside down in his chest, actually. This is the first time that I've had it out. But, yeah, I think that these little notches are supposed to go on the top, as if it really matters. But yeah, so we do have a Matrix that... And, you know, honestly, when we were all kids, we would have killed for an Optimus Prime that looked this show accurate, had a truck mode that was this good, and had a matrix. And so here I am griping about the trailer, but honestly, this is a beautiful toy, and the repaints are beautiful as well. So that kind of makes me wonder. I don't mean to switch tracks here, but I just want to look here. Okay, so the Matrix is still full color in Dead Prime. I know that I looked at it before, but I think I was forgetting, and I wanted to make sure that this was still a live Matrix rather than being just black and white. So I'm glad to see that the Matrix didn't die with him. Ha ha ha, Megatron. You thought that it would, but you were wrong. See, that was in the movie. That's from the animated movie 1986. He said it. I'm sorry. So, yeah, 1986. Yeah, because they came out 1984. Movie was in 86, and then during the movie, they killed off all of the toys that we had spent all of our money collecting over the previous 2 years. Yeah, Hasbro did that. It was still a cool movie, though. It was a cool movie, all right? It was heartbreaking, but it was a cool movie. So, we are going to transform him sooner or later. I keep saying that. Maybe we go through the whole video with me just saying that and then going off on a tangent and not doing it. So, yeah, Shattered Glass Prime looks phenomenal in his robot mode. Let's get him into his truck mode. And we're going to start by opening the panels on the arms, if I can get my fingernails in there. See, the problem is that not only do I have big fat adult fingers, but I also bite my fingernails, and that is bad when you are a Transformers collector, because you need those fingernails to get into the tight spots. So we've got some panel action here. There's a lot of little panels on this version of Optimus Prime, but they're disguised very, very well. So whenever you do that, that's going to help to push this out. And see, the chest transformation is really pretty remarkable. When you pull the chest forward, that creates room for the head to go back. So we can just put the head the rest of the way and then close the little door. And now we have this panel which comes forward and snaps, and then that creates the face of the tractor trailer. And then we also have these panels, and then we're going to swivel around the waist, and at this point we can pull the legs back, snap them together. It's a very satisfying snap. And I will say that all the versions, this version, the original version, the dead version, they all have very nice tight joints, and they feel substantial. Some of the other figures in this line have been a little bit lightweight and kind of rinky-dink feeling. Yeah, I'm talking about URC. And but this one feels substantial. We also have these little pieces here that are in his midsection, and those need to fold back out of the way, just like that. And then we can close that. And of course, keeping in traditional Prime transform methodology, you have to have the shoulders that go back and fold against the side. Oh, you know what? I forgot something. Yeah, I thought I was forgetting something. Here we go. We got to open this back up. We've got these panels. These are important. There we go. So now, you have the lower side panels, the upper side panels. Like I said, there's a lot of panels on here. And then we can fold the arms into the sides. Make sure that that is closed. And then we just close all these little panels
And that makes for a very, very solid looking truck. Let's not forget about the fuel tanks on the legs. And there we go. And he looks great. You know, this is a fantastic vehicle mode. His gun actually does fold up and plug into the back. So you do have weapon storage. And even without the trailer, he looks great in truck mode. I mean, he really and every version of this toy looks good in his vehicle mode, but I especially like the purple with the yellow windows. It pops. Now, this is something that I've noticed on every version of this toy. As you handle it, you always end up bumping the fuel tanks and kind of bumping them back in. It's not a big deal, but it's noteworthy that that the hinges just aren't tight, and they don't really have a snap point that causes them to hold out. You know, it's just a free floating hinge, and so you hope that the tension is enough. At some point, I might do my super glue trick to tighten up that joint if it continues to bug me. But so that is Optimus Prime from the Shattered Glass universe, and let's go ahead and show him with a trailer, because you know, when you have several versions of this Prime and a couple trailers, it's like, why not? So there you go, and that actually looks pretty good. I am half tempted to put a new sticker on the side here and make this a Shattered Glass Prime trailer. But at the same time, I paid so much for this version of Prime. It was what, like $50-$60, something like that? I guess all these versions of Prime are pricey, and I'm just an old fogey that can't get behind the new pricing. But I almost don't want to mess with it because it's sort of a special thing. But at the same time, it seems like Shattered Glass Prime should probably have a trailer. I'm okay with it not. I've got options, but it really seems like it should have a trailer. So, that is Shattered Glass Optimus Prime in all of his greatness. And I will say that that I'm glad I got this toy. I wasn't sure I was going to get it. You know, there is that thing called money, and I've probably spent way too much of my money on Optimus Prime toys just this year alone, rather than I don't know, paying bills. So yeah, I should probably feel bad about this, but I don't. It makes me happy because it's cool looking, and I can imagine there being like a situation where, you know, Transformers are always opening gateways to other universes. It just seems to happen. Oh no, Unicron is pulling characters out of one universe and dropping them in another. It just seems to happen all the time with Transformers. And yeah, you have that Shattered Glass thing, and then, you know, Purple Prime is working with Regular Prime, and Regular Prime is like, oh, he's just like me, except purple, we'll get along great. And then, oh no, Purple Prime tries to kill him, and everything goes kablooey. And you know, he probably should have been able to tell because of the goatee underneath the faceplate. Seriously. So, Shattered Glass Prime, I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but that's not the only part of this set that we got, because we also got Ratchet, and an evil version of Ratchet. I mean, that kind of puts me in mind of
evil beast from the X-Men back after the age of Apocalypse, where the beast from that universe escaped into the regular universe and then took the regular beast's place and ended up being a complete sadist. So, yeah, let's see. Jeffrey Combs played Ratchet in Prime, and he was also the Reanimator. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, Jeffrey Combs. Okay, I need everybody to back away from their screens. Jeffrey Combs, okay? Hello? Does anybody know Jeffrey Combs? Get him to watch this live stream. Jeffrey Combs, we need you to voice evil Ratchet, and we want you to go totally Reanimator. Okay, just one-up Reanimator. I want the glowing green fluid. I want experimentation on your roommates, girlfriends, pets, the whole 9 yards. All right, let's make this happen. If somebody needs a Kickstarter or something, then let's do that. And I will pledge the money that I didn't spend on Optimus Primes this year. So anyway, yes. Taking a look at Shattered Glass Ratchet, first impressions are that he looks awesome. He really does. He looks fantastic. He's got the shield, the riot shield thing. We'll have to talk about this, but we'll get there. He comes with a light bar, which, okay, it's cast in translucent blue, and then they painted it opaque red. And this is so. Wait here. I'm gonna show this. So here's the thing, and this is the same light bar that they used for Prowl, and I think they used it for Barricade. It's and I appreciate that they're reusing the same part. I'm all in favor of that. Yeah, you can take a look. So here's Barricade with that same light bar, and this is actually the one from Siege. So they've been using this same light bar for a while, and hey, I think it's great. I want to see them find creative ways to cut costs. But since this thing is already cast in translucent plastic, then can we paint it with a translucent paint? Or just leave it translucent teal? I don't think that would hurt it. I think there's a good chance that I'm probably going to take the paint off of this and then retouch it myself, maybe so that it has metallic gray around the middle, but you can just see the teal. I think that would be nicer. Nonetheless, it's fine. You know, it's even if they had painted the red from underneath. Okay, because see, you can sort of see that it's kind of reflective there, but you can see it's red and it's dark, so, you know, it's sort of evilly. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here. Take them or leave them. But let's go ahead and put that on to Ratchet. And then he comes with this gun, which is just a repaint of the gun that came with Ironhide. And so here we go. I'm getting a lot of lens flare on him, so let me move the light a little bit. Boy, that windshield is perfectly angled to bounce the image of my light bulb. Right? Look at that. That's amazing. So here, we'll do this and adjust the focus a little bit because his face is kind of blurry. There we go. There we go. So his face is in a little bit of shadow. We'll get a good look at the face in just a moment. So he is pretty much just a retool of Transformers Earthrise Ironhide. And I've got my issues with Earthrise Ironhide, particularly in that in an effort to create something based off of the Siege Ironhide, they have the entire roof of the van as a part that has to come off in order to transform. And I'm just not a big fan of that.
if they had made it in such a way that it could stay off or could be taken off or be left on during the transform, I think I'd like it better. But the fact that you just have to have it is, it's a little bit of a cheat. Just a little bit of a cheat. Nonetheless, the colors of this guy are phenomenal. I love, love, love the teal on white and purple. And here, let's go ahead and look at the face, because it is worth taking a look. And you know, I need to adjust the light yet again so that we can get some light on the face. It's always hard with the white characters because they wash out so easily, but we can get a good view of the face here. He looks awesome. I mean, he is straight up Gen 1, except for that purple head crest, and he really does look excellent. That's fantastic. Now, I will say that, let me adjust the light again since we got a lot of washout here. There we go. That gun is very reminiscent of his Gen 1 gun. Look at that. You know, it's like that and like that. Very, very similar. And I appreciate that. That's cool. And also, the back is a 5mm post, so that can plug into other stuff, which is very, very cool. So, you know, I'm liking that. We do have the riot shield thing, which, okay, this is the evil version of Ratchet, so maybe he does have a riot shield. Maybe it should have spikes on it. I don't know. But it does beg the question, why does Ratchet, the medic, need a riot shield? I guess you could say it's a stretcher. You know, maybe it's a stretcher. We could put Autobots on this thing, and it obviously has what look like jets underneath, so maybe it's like a hovering stretcher device, and whenever we have an Autobot that has been hurt, and wait, we need an Autobot that's hurt. Who could I pick completely at random? Oh, wait, look, I have Gen 1 Wheelie here. Wheelie, say, I feel okay. Oh, Wheelie's hurt now. Thank you. So, okay, now Wheelie is hurt, and now Wheelie can go on here. Yes, Wheelie should. He doesn't feel so good. Yeah, thanks, Wheelie. So, and then you can levitate him around, and then if evil Optimus Prime sees Ratchet taking care of Wheelie, then he runs up and runs into the sled. And then we don't have to worry about Wheelie anymore. So that's, so we do have the stretcher. Yeah, we'll get Prime. Oh, Prime, you rascal. So we've got Ratchet here. Of course, he has all the articulation that we have become accustomed to from this line. He's got shoulder joints and arm joints and elbow joints. He's got swivels at the wrists and at the forearms. He's got waist joints. He's got hip joints. He's very, very poseable. You can bend at the knees, and of course part of the whole War for Cybertron series has been giving characters ankle joints. That has been one of the distinctive features of most of the characters for the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege line, War for Cybertron Earthrise, and War for Cybertron Kingdom. And it's something that I like because it enables them to get into a much more stable stance, and that's nice. And so we can get Ratchet into a good "blast you Decepticons, I'll destroy you all!" And, you know, kind of an evil Ratchet thing to say. Or, you know, get me some more of my reanimate! I've got experiments and science to work on! That seems more appropriate. So let's go ahead and transform him, because he is a transformer after all, more than just a figure.
Oh wait, I am getting a message from my producer. See, I stick my finger in my ear when I'm getting a message. Bring the wounded to my lab. Yes. I could absolutely see that. Oh yeah, you know what? Totally. So, oh, that's not the side camera. So here we go. Let's turn him into his vehicle mode here. We're going to start by opening the door, and we're going to fold the head down. I usually turn it to the side. It seems to fit a little bit better from the side, and we can actually just leave that like that. Then you're going to straighten out the arms, and you're going to pull them back like this, and they are going to meet in the middle. So there we go. And then, not that it really matters, but I usually have the fists both facing out like that. And then you have this piece. This is the front bumper, and it goes up over the shoulders. You pull it back, and then that enables you to rotate the body around, and then you can snap it back up. And boy, here we go. There we go. So at this point, we want to deal with the legs. We open the side panels part way, and then we open these leg panels just like that. Straighten out the knees, put the legs together, and now we put the arms together and align everything just like this. And at this point, you can snap these side panels into the front end of the van, just like that. And you can close the doors. And then if you just want them to be a convertible van, then there you go. You know, I'm not completely against this. This is absolutely a vehicle. It's a weird vehicle, but it definitely is a vehicle. But of course, that's not the finished product. Tilt the windshield forward, and then you have the roof piece here. This 5mm post is on a slider, so you have to slide that in, and that will retract these jets here. And you have to do that because if you don't do that, then that peg won't align with this hole. And then you've got 4 alignment pegs here. And so everything is just going to snap down just like that. And now we can close the windows, and they're just going to snap in. And when you're transforming him back, make sure to pull the windows out first, because they do have little catches on them. And since they are made of the slightly more brittle translucent plastic, you don't want to be trying to pull this thing off against those, because you would be very likely to snap them. And then we close the hood, and at that point, and if we want, we can put the gun on top, because that's important for an ambulance. One thing that you can also do with this, and I'm just going to show this, is here, let me, unfortunately I have to take the top back off. There we go. There we go. And can I get my fingers underneath there? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, so hard. All right, I'm just going to try and do it. So there we go. The back ones don't have the catches, but the front ones do, and I'm always very nervous about that. But what you can do, there is a lot of space inside here. And even though this is not, like in the instructions, there's not a stated place for doing this, you absolutely can store the gun inside Ratchet. And then close everything up.
unless it fights you because you're on camera, which is what's going to happen right here. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. And so now we have the gun inside, and we can put everything back together like this. And snap the windows in place. And now, if you don't want your ambulance to have an assault weapon on the roof, you just want it to look like an ambulance, then you can do that. And I will say that the vehicle mode looks really good. Of course, we have the foot problem. These feet have been, you know, in the Cybertronian versions, in the Siege line, it wasn't so bad because they're Cybertronian vehicles, and you can make allowances for that. But in the Earth modes, certainly with Earthrise Ironhide, he's got the same problem. It's really just a big pair of robot feet. And it seems like with an extra hinge point in there, they could have flipped around so that the tops of the feet made up the back of the ambulance rather than the undersides of the feet, and I think that would have looked a lot better. But this is what we got, and I'm willing to just kind of get past it. You kind of have to just get past it. It's there. It's what it is. It's what they did, and it is what it is. But the rest of the vehicle mode for Ratchet here looks awesome. I wish that they would have continued the stripe on the door here. That would be nice. But otherwise, the panels meet up really nicely. The colors, all of the color panels match. And that's something that Earthrise Ironhide had a big problem with. Let me show you. So this is my Earthrise Ironhide, and what you'll notice is that the red here is a different color than the red here, and that's because I painted everything below the stripe. I painted this all one uniform red from, I think I used Krylon Max Paint, and it came out very nice because this back portion was this maroon color. You can see a little bit here how this is almost a burgundy color. And then the front was this kind of light cherry. It's almost a pastel. I really am not a big fan of the colorations on this version of Ironhide because he just seems washed out. And then you have these burgundy panels here, and then lighter here, and then something else here, and nothing matched. And it really, really distracts from an otherwise pretty decent vehicle mode. So yeah, I masked off everything from the stripe up. I masked off the wheels, and then I just hit this with Krylon. I didn't even do the front. You can see on the underside what that original color was, and it is distinctively darker. And I don't understand why they did it. It just doesn't make sense to me that some of these red parts were cast in a different color than other parts. It really doesn't work at all. Maybe it was a design choice to kind of enhance the robot mode, but it did not enhance the vehicle mode. So it's really nice after seeing that the color matching on this version of the same mold is spot on. It looks great, and especially that translucent teal for the windows. It looks awesome. I'm probably going to add some glossy stickers that are kind of this color to add to these windows as well.
just to kind of complete the look, and I will probably do something similar with stickers for Ironhide's windows as well. Now we can compare him to his Siege counterpart, which is a less bright white. He's a little bit of a dirty white, but this version does come with this medical arm here, and then the medical arm even has 5mm holes, so on the front and back, so you can swap out parts. You can put the little laser, or maybe it's a welder or whatever, and you can put them in either end. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this toy, and I love this. I really wish that they had included something like this. I would have been okay with them just including this with this version of the toy. It reminds me a lot of the attachment for the original Gen 1 Ratchet's medical bay. It had that arm that had that missile launcher, and so it harkens back to that, and I wish that we had that with this. Now, that being said, we could always, put it in there. It's got that little nub which keeps it from going all the way into that hole, but there are plenty of other holes that you can stick it in. And isn't that just sort of a thing about life? There's always another hole that you can stick it in. You can make of that what you want. So, that is our shattered glass Ratchet, and I have to say that this is pretty special. It's really excellently done. Fantastic color scheme, and I totally could see this version of Ratchet infiltrating the Autobots and then performing experiments on the wounded and just being nefarious in many ways. So I guess when it comes down to it, the final question is it worth it? Should you be interested in these, or should you pass on them? As somebody who is not really into the Shattered Glass universe, then I would have been perfectly happy to pass these up. But having them in hand and getting to play with them and getting to look at them and the colors and how they've been implemented, I have to say I'm really glad that I didn't miss out on these. And so if you're interested in these characters, if you just like these molds, then chances are you're going to be very, very happy with these if you order them, if you can get your hands on them. And if not, hey, you can just, look at this video and see what I did, and your curiosity is satisfied, and you can be like, okay, you know what? I'm good. Don't need it. But yeah, I would say that I would recommend these. I think that they're excellent, and it kind of sets that whole dangerous itch in my head of what other Shattered Glass characters should I be looking at? I don't know. So, right now these are, right now it is early February of 2021, and these are currently still available on Big Bad Toy Store for about $53, which honestly, considering the normal price point for either of the deluxe size Transformers, is a very nice value. It is comparable with what you would pay in a store. And by the way, I am not sponsored by Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not sponsored by anybody as yet. Doesn't mean that I couldn't be, though. Give me so yeah, that's it. Very, very happy with that purchase. They are really, really cool. Love them. And if you get them, I hope that you love them too. And if you've got them and you have opinions, please enter them in the comments. And if you don't, but you have another Transformers favorite that you would love to see a shattered glass version, or maybe they have one, but they didn't do it the way that you would want them to, I want to hear about it. Put it in the comments. Tell me what your favorite character is and what you would do in a shattered glass universe version of that character, because that would be really cool. So, that's it. I'm Clay. Have a wonderful evening and keep it retro. But, you know, because we're retro.